Let's discuss one of the areas I gain the most benefit from in Football Manager: mentoring. A criminally underused part of the game that can help your side make so many gains, particularly in those all important areas of dynamics and morale. How do we get the most from mentoring though? It's one hell of a question. So to help find the answer, I've run through my full mentoring guide from earlier in the year and picked out my top 3 tips to help you reap the rewards from mentoring in your next save. If you like the sound of that, then please do add a thumbs up and subscribe for a new top 3 every Sunday. There's also daily content from Football Manager Stories with all the links you need up there or down in the description. But let's turn our attention straight back to mentoring, starting with my number 3 top tip. At number 3 is smaller groups. Now, some of you don't really want to waste time with mentoring. I get it. If so, it can be very tempting to find all the good influential players, plus all the youngsters needing assistance, and just chuck them into one big mentoring group. Easy, problem solved. You don't have to worry about matching characters, the junior members will still get some form of positive influence, and you're unlikely to see that annoying "mentoring groups need attention" inbox message for some time. Unless, of course, you've got a transfer strategy like Nottingham Forest. Now, of course, these are all minor benefits, but you really are missing out on so much more. As you would expect, smaller mentoring groups allow closer relationships, closer bonds, and over time, a much better learning opportunity. A small group of 3 to 5 fairly like-minded people will often develop far quicker than a large group in a team session. That's in any walk of life, not just in a football team. As a result, aim for smaller groups where players are of fairly similar positions, types of mindset, and even sometimes personality traits, because it'll enhance the effect of the mentoring group no end and deliver far better results for your side in the future. With that done though, let's move on to number 2, which will explain why that's important. At number 2 is personalities and traits. Now, I would imagine this is the most obvious of the 3 tips today, but it's far too important not to include. Whether it be tutoring in the older editions of the game or mentoring now in the more modern versions, these 2 things have always been the most advertised benefits. Your senior players' personality traits, including some of the hidden attributes, are always likely to rub off on those being mentored within the group. This also applies to their player traits, which is another reason it could be very handy to use players from similar positions. For example, a winger that likes to stick to the wide areas when dribbling. That's something you may be looking to pass on. We're always looking for that dream model citizen or model professional to lead our mentoring groups, but let's face it, realistically, they're very few and far between, certainly ones that are of a good enough standard to lead your first team groups. At lower levels in particular, you'll find most players have a balanced or poorer personalities. This isn't always a bad thing though. Most top clubs will opt to stick with players that have a ready-made mentality for the top level. This means with the right leaders at your club, even if it's just those with a fairly professional or a fairly determined personality, you can help take these young stars that have been shunned for their mental characteristics and help take them to the next level through mentoring. They've got that technical ability ready to unlock already. That's why they were at top clubs when they were released. But improving their personality can help them train better, play better, and develop to reach their true potential. Do it right, and this could leave you with huge stars or huge profits from unearthing rough diamond after rough diamond. It's also a great way to get the best from your youth intakes too, as a number of those will often have poorer personalities. Time to move on to my top tip though, and this one is much less obvious. Number 1 is social groups. Since the introduction of squad dynamics a few years back, it's always frustrated me that the single biggest benefit to mentoring has been largely overlooked. You probably think about the impact it has on personalities and traits of a player, which we mentioned a little bit earlier, but did you ever think about social groups? I thought not. We all know that in FM, the key to a cohesive and tight-knit squad is dynamics, and social groups play a huge part in that. Squads are highly unlikely to be continuously successful if there are a number of cliques present, or new players can't integrate into the first team very easily. That's where mentoring groups come into their own for me. Pair senior players from your most important social group, most often the core group, with new signings, youth team graduates, or players struggling on the periphery of the squad. As well as helping them to settle down, these players will naturally spend more time with the senior pros in the group, and as a result, then interact with the people they interact with more. Given time, you'll eventually see all of these players from this mentoring group progress into that senior player social group too. Very handy for the success of your team, and what a way to integrate and unite your squad. So those are just my top 3 mentoring tips, but let me know any others you swear by down in the comments below. I'd also love to know how often you use mentoring already, and be honest, whether you manage it yourself or not. If you enjoyed this one, then please do add a thumbs up and subscribe for daily Football Manager content. All the key playlists are up in the eye above and other platform links in the description down below. But if you want to learn more about mentoring in FM, then why not click this video to see the full guide above my head now. Thanks for watching.